Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so I guess the trend continues. I think this is what it's going to be like pretty much till election day. Donald Trump is simply soaking up all the oxygen in the room. Now, I know the Kamala campaign continues in their pathetic attempt to paint Donald Trump as old, tired, and clear cognitive decline. They're trying to give him the Joe Biden treatment, except it's not going to work because it's totally unmerited, but they're certainly trying. Kamala HQ posted this: "You good at real Donald Trump? An exhausted Trump says no to another interview. Oh, he's too tired, he can't get the job done." That's the narrative they're trying to set. But literally, simultaneously as they're saying this, Donald Trump is bouncing around, executing big time, performing during one of the most intense, rigorous campaign schedules I think I've ever seen. It could not be further from reality. Donald Trump does the Al Smith dinner, then shows up at a Brooklyn barbershop, or actually I think he might have showed up at the barbershop before the Al Smith dinner, but anyways, 2 events, then he goes on Fox and Friends, then he does an interview with Tyrus at Fox. Again, Donald Trump's doing more interviews in the span of 24 hours than Kamala Harris does in a week. Or really for the first 2.5 months of her entire campaign. Oh, Donald Trump is exhausted. Yeah, no S, Sherlock. A young in shape 25-year-old man would be tired with this kind of a grueling schedule. My advice, stop with the phony narratives, stop with the straight up lying and manipulation, and maybe try to keep up, huh? Let's have a conversation about this. Donald Trump is stealing the spotlight here, and they freaking know it. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, I really want to focus specifically on the Al Smith dinner. This performance was absolutely legendary. Once again, the Kamala campaign attempts to get ahead of it. Trump complains about the audience not laughing at his attempts at jokes. They play this clip.
Looked at me and said, "Don't." Does anybody understand that? Yeah. I thought it was actually very good until just now. It was announced this morning that at a funeral yesterday, in a rare moment of clarity, Joe told Barack Hussein Obama that, quote, only a few people got that. Or as Rush Limbaugh used to say, Barack Hussein Obama. Remember, bro? He was a piece of work. We miss him. But as he told Barack Hussein Obama, quote, "She's not as strong as me. She's not as strong. Do you understand that?" And Obama agreed, saying, "That's true. Other than that, I think the Democrats are getting along quite well." Right? Nobody got that one.
Yeah, no wonder it's not landing. It's a room full of partisan liberals, at least mostly partisan liberals. What do you expect? But again, Democrat narrative versus reality. They're trying to pretend as if Donald Trump bombed during this performance, but I'd say the exact opposite happened. Let's just put together a little bit of a Trump highlight reel, shall we?
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. A major issue in this race is child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep him away. That's a nasty one. Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president. If Democrats really wanted to have someone not be with us this evening, they would have just sent Joe Biden. Joe has almost disappeared from view. The only way he could be seen less is if he had a show on CNN. They had nothing. They've got nothing. Fake news, right? Fake.
Yeah, I don't know if that fits the definition of bombed. I'd say I experienced it quite differently than how the Democrats did, but I guess that's par for the course now, isn't it? This is coming from the same people who claim that Kamala Harris absolutely slayed Queen during her pathetic appearance on Fox News with Bret Baier, but that's the narrative that they're going with. Donald Trump absolutely sucked. I can't even believe it. It's so off the mark that even Brian Stelter at CNN doesn't agree.
What did you make of this performance?
Oh, no, don't ask me first. I thought he was funny. I thought he actually got a few great jokes in. I thought the best moment was we talked about the assassination attempts and made light of what he's experienced, because I think he's experiencing real trauma, real PTSD as a result of the shootings, but he's still able to have a light moment in this room. And he took advantage of the fact that Kamala Harris wasn't there.
Which is
I
really
was
the
disappointed
subtext
that he
of this
kept,
whole thing.
Exactly. That she
They're
didn't.
usually supposed to be in the same room.
Trump was funny, and frankly, again, he stole the show. He's everywhere. He's all over the media, he's doing amazing press events, he's doing a great job, and the optics, I'd say, are improving for him. And meanwhile, Kamala Harris is, well, not even showing up to these events. She didn't show up at the Al Smith dinner. Now instead, she's doing sketch comedy and sending in her tape.
My feelings about what you should say tonight would be best expressed in a monologue from one of my favorite made-for-TV series.
Okay, let's hear it.
Don't you see, man? We need a woman to represent us. A woman brings more heart, more compassion. And think how smart she must be to become a top contender in a field dominated by men. It's time for a woman, bro. And with this woman, we can fly.
Oh, Mary Catherine, it's very important to always remember you should never let anyone tell you who you are. You tell them who you are.
Haters gonna hate, hate, hate. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Good for you, Mary Catherine.
Oh, yeah, okay. And also remember one more thing. Don't worry if you make a mistake, 'cause Catholic people are very forgiving. Yeah, and also, one last thing I want to tell you, don't forget to say, superstar!
Thank you, Mary Catherine.
Thank you, Kamala.
Thank you.
It's so incredibly beyond cringe, but honestly, the cringe element isn't even really what I want to talk about. What I noticed from this hit and miss, this pathetic attempt at comedy, was simply a continuation of the trend. Here we have Kamala Harris, once again, supposed leader of the Democrat Party, unable to hold the stage herself. She needs to piggyback off another random D-list celebrity. In other words, she's not even the main act. She's a background actor. You know, kind of like she's been her entire career. She's not cut out for this. She's not meant for this role. She's not a natural leader. She's not charismatic, likable, I mean, pretty much none of it. Think of a positive adjective. And she essentially doesn't have it, or kind of barely has it, you know, a little bit on the edge. She's just generally unimpressive. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is the main act. He's the main character. You know, some people have main character syndrome, where they think they're the main character, and some people are actually the main character. Donald Trump is the main character, and everybody knows it. I mean, come on, by this point, I think by election day, people are going to forget that Kamala Harris was even running. At least the apolitical normies who aren't really paying attention. I'm sure there's a lot of people who jumped on the Kamala train when it was all the buzz, all the hype, but at this point, some of these people are probably too busy living their lives and they've probably dropped it. Oh yeah, that whole Kamala thing. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Well, did you vote? You know, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. It feels like Kamala Harris's popularity is waning. She's fizzling out of the zeitgeist. And meanwhile, Donald Trump, well, he's the commodity. And he keeps on getting more and more popular. And again, even CNN can admit this.
I think there are a lot of folks, such as myself, who think that Donald Trump's unpopularity is baked in. But here's the deal. If you believe that Donald Trump has somehow become less popular over time, let me change your mind about that. In fact, he is more popular at this point in the campaign than he was at this point in the 2020 campaign or the 2016 campaign. Look, he's still underwater, right, with a negative 9-point net favorability rating. But that is higher than he was in 2020 at minus 12 points when he nearly won. And it is way higher than the minus 27 net favorability back in 2016 when he did win. So I think there's this real question in Kamala Harris's mind, in the campaign's mind, why is Trump more popular now than he was at this point in 2020 and 2016? And I think that is why you're seeing the sharpening attacks, because they want to put him back down to here, or even there's no way that they're necessarily going to back down to here, but they want to make Trump more unpopular than he is right now, because he's more popular now than either point in 2020 or 2016. The momentum of Kamala Harris has stalled. And I think they feel like they have to change something that's going on in their campaign, because they were seeing a rise and now it is stalled out. Look, she's still more popular than Trump. But look, Joe Biden was more popular than Trump, much more, and barely won. And Hillary Clinton was more popular than Donald Trump and lost. being more popular than Trump isn't enough. She wants to continue to see her favorabilities rise, but in fact, they're going in the wrong direction at this point.
If it's a popularity contest, which in a lot of ways a presidential election is, Trump is winning, and it's not even close. And the Kamala campaign knows this, and they're coping, frankly. Ooh, Donald Trump is too exhausted. He's canceling interviews. What, with 60 Minutes and NBC News? Yeah, no wonder. But meanwhile, he's pretty much everywhere, and he's doing a great job. In fact, this might be the greatest Trump media blitz of all time, specifically because this year, he's not only sticking to the mainstream nonsense. You know, back in 2016 and even largely in 2020, he was only showing up on mainstream networks. He was doing the old school TV gauntlet. Well, this time I think he's learned his lesson. Why engage with these fake journalists who are all just hand-picked talking heads when you can engage directly with the people through the actual grassroots names? You know, the people who got to their positions because they built their own platforms, podcasts, independent sources, the people who actually sway minds, the people who actually have loyal audiences who are listening and paying attention, and of course the environments where you could have an actual conversation without being derailed every 2 seconds by some fake news journalist who's clearly got ulterior motives, and that ulterior motive is always attempt to destroy the orange man at any and all cost. Why engage in that kind of nonsense when you can pick and choose and be in all the right places at the right time, huh? Anyways, let the copium continue. That's clearly what it is. Kamala Harris is failing, and Trump, well, he's just a different kind of animal, a different breed entirely. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.